Hello everyone, my name is Strom. Welcome to another video. Today, I wanted to make an update to my how to get a shulker into the overworld video. Unfortunately, there was a change in 1.17 that was not anticipated. It doesn't invalidate the original method, but let's do something different to make it a little safer. So I'm here at the spawn chunks. If you did watch my last video, as you may already know, shulkers, when they go through the main end portal, will come back to the world spawn, never back to your personal spawn, always the world spawn. So I have this marked here with these diamond blocks, just to give us an idea of where it's going to come out. So before we can actually move a shulker over, there's a few things that we're going to do to prepare this time. First thing is, we're going to want to armor up. Unfortunately, the big change is in 1.17, shulkers no longer sit so low in boats that they can't shoot bullets out. So even when they're sitting in their boat, they can unfortunately still shoot bullets out. And even though it may not be that dangerous to you, it's dangerous to the shulker. The shulker may actually kill itself. So we need to make adjustments for that. First thing you need to do, obviously, is find a stronghold, and then go on through to the end, then kill the dragon. Obviously, this is going to let you get to the end cities, and that's going to be our next prep step. You'll notice I have a powered rail here. In the first video, what we did is we used a set of piston stairs in order to get the boat with the shulker up. However, that's going to cause us some issues this time because of how slowly that boat moves on land. So what we want to do is create a rail that goes from the main end platform all the way right next to the portal. At the end, you want to have an activator rail. Make sure that the torch is on the left side of the activator rail from the direction the shulker will be going, so that he's shoved out to the right. If your torch is on the right side, he's going to teleport to a random location somewhere within this 17 by 17 area. We also need to prep this portal for getting the shulker through. This time we're going to do that ahead of time. What you're going to need to prepare for this, it's the same as the last video. You need dirt, a red mushroom, and some bone meal. We're going to come up next to the center of the portal, right next to the bedrock, and dig down 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a dirt block down. Dig a little slot to the side for yourself. Place down the mushroom block, and then grow it. What you're going to see when you come out of the hole is now that this mushroom has grown, and this may take a couple of tries to get the right height, now a part of the portal is actually going to be missing. So this part no longer teleports you through, and we're going to use that later to get the shulker pushed in without shoving us through, because you may actually want to shove through several shulkers. As I said, this is not going to be exactly perfect because they can now shoot while they're in the boats. We're going to do as much as we can to make sure that those shulkers don't die, but there is a chance. So get prepared to do a couple of shulkers at least. And finally, before you actually go looking for an end city, what you want to do is grab some more materials. We want a bunch of throwaway blocks. In this case, I'm using dirt. This can really be whatever block you want. And then in this case, I'm going to use ice. You could bring water buckets with you and just make an infinite water source. I prefer to just bring some stack of ice because it's stackable water. We also have our boat, some extra rails, and a minecart. Now that we have all that, we're ready to actually go through. So we put a trapdoor there, stand next to the trapdoor, close the trapdoor, and go through the portal. Now it's time to actually go out and find an end city. Your ideal city is going to look similar to this, that has a gateway very close to it. It doesn't have to be close, but obviously it's going to be easier. Obviously, this size end city is not very ideal at all because there should only be, let's see, 4 shulkers in here. 1, 2 over there, 3, 4, excuse me, 5, because then there's one at the pillar. So there's only 5 here. There's not much to work with. However, that should do. We only need a few because if you're bringing these back to start a shulker farm with a shulker breeder, then you're going to pile up some extra shulkers inside your farm, as long as you plan that out. So this should be perfect. But here we have a very short distance that we need to go in order to actually get to that end gateway. You may have one where it's out an island over there, out an island over there. Wherever it may be is fine. We just need to build out to that. And where we want to build out to the gateway is going to be right under the end city. We're going to build a 2x2 path of dirt. So we can see now we have a 2x2 path of, again, dirt or whatever your garbage block is right underneath the end city. And then we're going to build up on the side of it just to give it some edges. Where the garbage block path ends, we want to put down a piece of ice on each side. And then we're going to go through and alternate ice. And what this is going to do is when we break the ice, it's then going to make a water source of a pathway. Because we actually need to get down inside of there with our boat. So if you find that you're having difficulty, just bring that water back a few stages. And then we're going to break the ice. Perhaps dirt wasn't the most ideal thing to bring to the end. But there we go. We can see now it's going to create a normal water source all the way to the end, except here where we have just a slight slope going towards that portal in the gateway right there. We're going to use that to our advantage. This is where we're going to get out our boat and get the shulker in there. There's actually an extra shulker in there, so we need to work a little bit fast on this because we can't get a shulker in a boat when it's on the wall. So what we need to actually do is get it down to the floor first. There we go. We got 2 of them on the floor. I'm going to go ahead and get this one in a boat right here. Place it right next to it. And then I'm actually going to have to work my way around a little bit here, make sure I don't get shot too much. Come back to that boat and push the boat right into the shulker. Once he's in that boat, you're going to want to start working away. So clear out your path to get down to your waterway. And then plan on getting back down at some point in the near future. Get in the boat with them. Once you're in the boat, you can't float off, so you're good now. And boat right into that waterway. Now we can boat ourselves right into this portal. And what's going to happen is when you go through that portal, the shulker and the boat are going to come with you. Now it's time to actually get out your rails and your minecart. You want to get him out of the boat. Now what you're going to want to do is use whatever kind of rail combination you need to get the rails over to him. Right next to him. You don't want to run a minecart right into him, it'll just stop. And then into a wall with some powered rails and power those. What's going to happen then is when we take our minecart and put it on this hill, even if we're getting knocked around by him, he's going to get picked up and sent back because he ran into the wall, up the track, all the way to our portal. As you recall, a little bit earlier in the video, we already kind of cleared this out, and the reason this is so that we can get the shulker into that portal without having to worry about teleporting ourselves back to the overworld. You'll notice that this portal actually has a hitbox here, so even though it's just bedrock beneath, if there was a boat under there, for example, you couldn't actually touch it. I mean, in that case, it just went through to the overworld because there's an empty boat. But once we put a shulker in a boat in there, it's not going to automatically teleport through. So if we didn't clear out this part of the portal, what's going to happen is that shulker is just going to get stuck under there. His hitbox will still be above, so you could kill him, but that's about it. You won't be able to get that boat out of there. So make sure you do this portal clearing first. Now all we need to do to get him back to the overworld is quick run over, get him in a boat, and get in a boat with him. We want to move fast because, again, his bullets may hit himself. We'll bring him right up to the edge of here and get out of the boat. And make sure you don't hit that portal, so I maybe got a little close there. And then we need to come back down, place some ice, break it, and then that guy is going to get pushed right on top of that portal. When the water's gone, he's going to fall below that. At this point, he will not be able to shoot you anymore unless he sneaks out a bullet somehow. But again, we talked about that hitbox there, and if I turn on his hitbox is inside of there, so those bullets are just going to stop at this point. Now we can take another break, maybe grab a golden carrot. Maybe we could just take a little nap while we wait. Or not. Okay, enough joking around. At this point, there's really no reason to wait anymore. It's now safe. We can walk back up, and all we need to do is break that boat. He's going to go right through the portal. At this point now, you could repeat the steps by going back to your end city and grabbing another shulker, or you can just head back to the overworld and start moving your guy around. And here we are back at the world spawn. There's our shulker, there's our boat, but we'll come back into survival, get in the boat, and now we're ready to take him wherever we want to. At this point, again, notice how slow we're moving and how fast his bullets are going. This is dangerous. There, he just hit himself with a bullet. And so we could actually lose our shulker on the way. You notice he hasn't taken many hits, so he's still doing pretty good. But if you do have to carry him a long distance, what you may want to do is set up something different. What I've done here is I'm going to actually move him over to where my base is. In this instance, I'm not going to farm him. I'm going to make a nice little cage, home for him. And so this is just a 2x2 tunnel that, once again, we did the same thing that we did in the end island. So all we're going to do is on one end, put down 2 pieces of ice, and then do this as we go. Alternatively, if you don't have the ice to spare, what you can do, so you can actually just put down a water source here, and then kind of go along with your bucket and just grab water, grab water, grab water, grab water, grab water, place it down, and go along the whole path. I just find ice to be easier. That tunnel is going to go all the way to my destination, as we'll see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my shulker, because as we saw, those bullets are quite fast. But once I get into this water source, and I'm going to go into F5 here to show this, we're going to start moving faster than the bullets. So at that point, he won't be able to hit himself. So he's still shooting bullets, but now we're moving much faster. And this is going to be your safest way to get him back. If you have to boat him over land for a long distance, like my last tutorial video, unfortunately in 117, because he sits higher, he's just going to start hitting himself. And then here in this case, I'm just leading right up to a river. I'm just going to follow the river where I want to go to my base. Now at this point, we have piston elevators. So what this is there's a piston in the ground. Excuse me, I'm trying to talk here. Okay, you're going to want to set this up, obviously, before you get there. But there is a piston in the ground and a lever next to it. The way that you get him out of the water is with the piston down in the water. And unfortunately, water washes away a lever, obviously. So we're going to use a redstone block just to get that powered up. Let me drop back down here and get in my boat. I'm going to boat on top of the piston. Get out real quick. Put down that redstone block and then jump right back in. Now with these ones with the lever, I can just lean over, get the lever, lever, lever. We want to go quick. There we go. I didn't actually need one on that last one. Get him out of the boat. That. Now he's on the ground, and in this case, I'm actually going to use iron bars. He's not going to be able to aggro us anymore. So now, once again, he will stop shooting bullets. So that's going to be my preferred way to get shulkers back to the overworld in 1.17. There are other methods, such as the piston tower, things like that. If you're interested in those, go ahead and do some more checking out on YouTube. This is the way I prefer it. It's just the easiest for me. Unfortunately, boats no longer stop those bullets, so now it requires a little bit more armor, a little bit more food, and a lot more patience. But thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Hope that helps you out getting a shulker back to your base. And I will see you later. Have a good one. Bye. Come on, do that. We did this last time. Oh, I give up. Oh, come on.